Finally, I got the final pieces for my Immortal Oberon build. Now, I did say on my previous video that I will be sharing an Immortal Hunter Oberon build, but it really didn't work out as I imagined it to be. Equipping a full set of the new Hunter mods isn't that useful if you are planning to create a tanky Oberon build. Well, some of the Hunter mods are useful, but equipping the full set is not really that good for me, as the companion don't attack quite often. My cat and as well as my Q-brow don't really attack that often, to both heal me and kill an enemy. Which is why I decided to ditch the Immortal Hunter build. Instead, what I'll be sharing to you is my perfected Oberon tank build, which I called the Immortal Guardian Oberon. So why did I call it the Immortal Guardian? You'll find out soon enough. But first, let's discuss what it means to be a tank or an Immortal Warframe in this game. Being a tank in this game doesn't mean that you just cast an ability, stand still in place, and just let the enemies hit you. If your perception is something like that, then I will tell you now, you'll definitely get disappointed in the end. Achieving immortality in Warframe also requires skill. Relying on your abilities alone will get you killed. You need to move, dodge, escape a fight, and do all those other stuff that will keep you alive. One useful move that will keep you alive is rolling. When rolling, a player will have reduced damage taken by 75% during its animation. Another way is blocking with your melee weapon. Melee weapons in Warframe will keep you alive due to the fact that they are able to block these damages. Each weapon has a different block damage reduction percentage, and the highest among them are the hammer, heavy blade, machete, scythe, sword and shield, and polearm. And of course, a Warframe should have the ability to kill the enemies. Well, you can't survive if you let the enemies grow in numbers. Now, we all know almost every high-level enemies in Warframe are heavily armored. Armors makes them really hard to kill, and if you don't have the right tool to strip that armor, or bypass it, then I'm pretty sure that you will have a really tough fight ahead of you. One thing I like about Oberon is that he does have the ability to strip enemy armors. With a simple cast of his Hollow Ground, and then one cast of his Reckoning, you can strip enemy armors even if they are level 100 plus or higher. Okay, so that's the most important things that you should know on how to be an immortal tank in this game. Now, let's discuss on the key elements and builds which makes up my Immortal Guardian Oberon. The first thing you need to know is the weapon I'm using. For this build, I'm just using a melee weapon. It's the Vectis. This polearm is really amazing, as not only does it give you 85% damage reduction while blocking, but it also gives you the ability to radial blind the enemy, which will blind them for 5 seconds and open them up to finishers. The best part is, the range is pretty decent, as the blind can reach enemies that are 15 meters away from you, and it can range up to 30 plus meters if you have a primed reach equipped on it. This weapon is a key part to my Oberon's survivability. Creating a build for this weapon is quite tricky, as it don't have any slash damage, which makes me think twice in using this for my Oberon, as I thought at first that it would not be endgame material. However, I did manage to come up with a build, and here it is. At first, I did take to consideration the ability of this weapon to open up enemies to finishers. But that build is pretty weak, as I really can't one-shot enemies due to the fact that we can't equip Covet Lethality here. I also build this as a hybrid crit and status weapon, but I don't find critical really helpful, which is why I decided with the condition overload build. I know some of you are raising their eyebrows right now, but let me explain first why I choose to have a condition overload build for this weapon. First, we all know that Oberon's abilities has guaranteed status procs, radiation and puncture. Now, that's 2 status. Secondly, I'm using my carrier prime with the Artax. We all know that the Artax has guaranteed cold proc. That's 3 guaranteed status. The rest of the status are from the build itself. I know that it depends on chance, but I have 85% status chance, which is pretty high, and most of the time, I proc 2 to 3 status more, making it 6 status at max, inflicted to an enemy. And do take note that Oberon has armor stripping capabilities. So yes, Vectis is a pretty good condition overload weapon if used by Oberon. For this weapon to help in terms of your survivability, you should definitely equip this with Primed Reach and Guardian Derision. Guardian Derision is the reason why I call this the Immortal Guardian Oberon. This mod is really awesome for this build, as it will taunt the enemies within 15 meters whenever you are blocking with your Vectis. Now, I have a different build for different factions. When facing infested, I go for viral and heat. When up against corpus, I have a magnetic and gas build. For armored units, I have corrosive and blast. Okay, let's talk about my Oberon build. The first thing I will suggest on this build is to add an extra former, and put a dash polarity on the aura slot, so you can equip it with corrosive projection. This aura is the key for Oberon's armor stripping capabilities. As you can see, I have lots of power strength, which gives me more heal on my renewal, and more armor reduction in my reckoning skill. I really did not put any efficiency mod on this build, as Hunter Adrenaline just restore my lost energy. Seriously, I really think that you don't need efficiency in your Oberon, especially in high levels, as enemies will keep hitting you and will just restore your energy. And do take note that I build my Oberon to out-heal the damage dealt by enemies with my renewal skill. Quick Thinking is the for extra survivability, and Phoenix Renewal for even more survivability. And lastly, Handspring, so I can get back up whenever I get knocked down. If you are doing high-level survival runs, then you know how useful Handspring is, especially in the Void or Ophelia. So that's it. I think I've covered all you need to know on how to build my Immortal Guardian Oberon. To be honest with you guys, I'm so proud that after almost a month of testing, I finally did it. I finally created the best tanky Oberon build which suits my playing style. However, I could not have done it without the help of my friend Jack. He's the one who introduced me to Vectis. Because of him, I finally found the missing piece of my build. Thank you so much, Jack. I'm really having so much fun with this build, as I really love the synergy of Oberon and Vectis. I just hope that you will enjoy this build too. Now, I've promised you guys that I will be doing a condition overload Goddess Sarin build. That will be my next video. So be sure to watch out for it. Thank you for taking a minute or two, watching this video. Please do me a favor and hit that like button if you enjoy watching this, and you can always click that subscribe button and join my notification squad, and receive an update whenever I post a new Warframe video. Again, thank you so much, and see you on my next video.
You just rather watch me fall.